from my perspective, I had a very happy youth. And, certainly my parents didn't have a whole lot of money, but at the same time, it was that sense of family because I had aunts and uncles all around. I had cousins all around. And my grandmother, who was my Métis grandmother, was sort of the matriarch. And she certainly encouraged positive forward motion of all of us. And within that, I also had different other kinds of organizations, like I was a brownie and a Girl Guide leader, and I went to a summer camp, and then at the end ended up being a camp counselor. So it was all of those particular kinds of things that I think altogether were my mentors for that continuous lifelong learning process that I know I'm on. So I feel I was very fortunate because I look at my teachers, my parents, my family, the sort of the clubs that I belong to, all as being positive mentors for me, because I was sort of a lucky person to be able to interact in a small town that was a very positive environment for me to grow up in.
I would like to share that mentorship meant to me as a youth, as a young woman, and on my healing journey, a really, really good friend, I call her a friend today now. She was my boss, and I had experienced so much sadness from being taken away from my family at age 6. And although I sought the Western method of healing, this dear friend, I call her today Matriarch Elder Flo Robertson, knew that I needed. So she was actually helper to the elders. She brought me to all the beautiful elders, and all of those elders, they took me under their wing, and they taught me, they guided me, they gave me. But most importantly of all, what those elders did for me, loved me. They loved me unconditionally. Really felt that that was a big part of the healing of myself, all of my experience. And I truly believe in mentorship and always being kind and always in a good and respectful way, as my elders have taught me and guided me. So I truly believe that we must always role model that leadership through mentorship.
Like, our people believed in relationship building, with other families, with each other, so they would be encouraging me to be generous, to be respectful, and to volunteer and to help. When I think of it, and I think of my mentors, of that respect factor, because they're always respectful to me. I tell people today, my mentors, were so dignified and respectful. For instance, I'd never hear them use foul language or swearing, so, and I model myself after them today, and I could see the respect that I garner by being respectful. My elders were very respectful towards food, towards life, towards, other human beings. And that whole life of relationship building was, I think, one of the biggest gifts he gave me. An example of that being relational, my late grandmother, Shutit, she was so respectful of life, of food. I'd bring her a salmon and her eyes would sparkle, and how she was cleaning it and cutting it was like with a reverence, because she knew it's keeping her alive for another day. So my mentors were, I had mentors that would teach me, I guess you could say, the technicalities of being with people, and how to do ceremony. But their attitude, I think, was the most important. That is an attitude of respect and commitment to the people. You know, they taught me, never say no when you're called for help. You simply go there and do your best if you have the time in your life to do that. But don't say no to people when they ask for help. You go there and do your best, because obviously they trust you and believe in you. That's why they ask you. So you go when they call you. So those were, you know, examples of some of my mentors. And of course, my whole, I guess, area of healing too. Like they encouraged me in, for instance, would tell me to free myself of negativity, anger or fear or depression. Free yourself, put it down. You're not doing anyone any good being that way.
I wish to share that what mentorship means now is to role model and show the way. And when people come to you for guidance, I cannot believe that I'm just following in my elders, mentors' footsteps, like Elder Vince Stogan and Elder Bob George and many of the beautiful elders, that when I would ask a question of them, they wouldn't give me a direct answer. They would actually share a story, share an experience with me, and I cannot believe this is what I am doing today. I am following in the footsteps of my mentors and my teachers, my elders, and sharing answers in a storytelling way. So really, so very, very important. That's what mentorship.
Make sure that you walk the talk, and always be respectful to make sure, you know, like I was saying, that I listen to everyone. Give everyone that space and listen. So when I look at youth today and I'm mentoring, I come to understand that a lot of what they go through is identity problems. And I did too. I wasn't Indigenous enough because I wasn't a fluent speaker. I wasn't singing hand drum songs when I was in my 20s. I wasn't doing ceremony and ritual. And I didn't think I was Indigenous enough. So when I'm with youth, and youth is, you know, 25 and under, that's what they call youth today. And when I'm with them, I'm very encouraging to them and tell them, you know, you have it in your blood. If you don't speak your language, don't worry about it. You learn one word at a time, you know, and so I encourage them, and I tell them, remind them that you come from a beautiful people. Indigenous people are beautiful. So I tell them you come from a beautiful people. Very healthy. And healthy means sound in mind, body, and spirit. And our people before contact were very healthy. I tell them, for instance, where I'm from, they train the young men to run deer down by foot. I'm from a very mountainous region, so they knew how to do it in groups, hunting in groups. They can mountain goat climb, you know, because mountain goats are up in steep cliffs. And they'd use these long poles as ladders and go up and hunt the mountain goat. To do that, you need to be very healthy, very strong in your mind, and believe I can do this if I train my body. Then their spirit is about having this incredible will to live, to be successful, and to be kind. I say, that's the way we live. And I say, my great-grandfather was part of that group of being very healthy. He lived to 105 years. You need to be very healthy to do that. You know, he was very strong. So that's part of, as when I mentor youth, is to give them a point of reference, because many of them have seen violence, being around violence, suicide, abuse, assault. So what I say is, and I've heard them they're very appreciative when I tell them, you come from a beautiful people.
I would say in the same way I felt I was fortunate in the past, was to have the youth feel like they are being heard and that their words have value, and that their thoughts are appreciated by others. And that me and my role as an older person have to recognize that their ideas, their ways of doing things have value. I think my role today for youth is for me to acknowledge and recognize and share the value of their words and their ideas and their approaches. We have to look at each person as an individual and recognize the importance of each and every one of us as part of this larger community of people.
The first thing is that you're part of the universe. You belong. You're part of this. There's a reason you're here. You have a gift. You're born with a gift. And the purpose in life is for you to find that gift and use it to help the people to live on Mother Earth. So that for 7 generations from the time you live, like 560 years from now, they're going to have what you have, like fish, water, deer, moose, the foods. That's how we're to live. But we must live with that respect, with the thought of the future. So you go and find your gift. If you're having a hard time approaching elder, like I didn't know what I was here for till I went on what people call a vision quest now. But it's like an intensive meditation of looking at myself and coming to terms with myself and actually literally seeing what I'm supposed to do with my life. Once I had that, I just went out. So with youth, I'll tell them now, I said, you look at this when you have to go to a city or somewhere where the college or university is. Look at it as a new age vision quest. Because in vision quest, you sacrifice by isolating from your family and even away from the community because you need that solitude. Think of yourself going to, say, Vancouver or somewhere you're going on a quest. And you're sacrificing, and then you'll bring a gift home to your family. And that's having, your gift to use to help you to survive. And you must take care of this gift when you have the opportunity for education. Because it's going to feed your family. You're going to help people. So you look at it as a gift and you treat it seriously. Because when you take care of any gift that's given to you, it'll take care of you. If you don't, it's a waste. So, that's what I tell students now that are going to further themselves or to develop their gift. I tell that you're here, that must be what's meant to be. So do it up, give it everything you have. I'll tell them, put up your fingers like this and spread out your arms. And I'll say, this is your education part of your life if you're going to university, which is 4 years, sometimes 7 years, but this is the rest of your life. So you sacrifice for that long. So the rest of your life, you bring gifts to yourself, to your family, to your people, through your work, through your contribution to society. So that's what I tell them. Because some of them really struggle with the racism and the institutions and stuff. And I say that's part of the sacrifice. You don't run away from that. You go through it, you go above it, you go around it. Don't let it stop you. Don't let one person stop you that's got meanness about them. They're unhealthy. It's not you. Racism is not about you. They don't know you.
I wish to share that for the Voices of Tomorrow in Indigenous Health Research, that all the mentorship that has gone on to Elder Roberta and all my beautiful sister and brother elders is that now covers all of our beautiful young people. and that they feel the strength, the respect and the strength to carry on the good work. And I have great faith in all of our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, that they are really paving the way for the healing of our grandparents, our great-grandparents, and our great-great-grandparents by their beautiful energy, the strength of their intelligence, and leading the way and making it so much better for themselves, for the communities, and for all the people who are not able to share their voices, and for our ancestors that are looking down upon us, witnessing all of the good work. This is what I have faith and belief in our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren, just really opening the door of healing in a really wonderful way as they demonstrate to us on a daily basis, and that they will carry this so far.
I think what I see of the youth is we've got an absolutely brilliant group of young people out there who are going to make such a difference in this world. I think our youth of today are really grounded in who they are and what they hope to be, and that they are really, they're willing to share what they know. They're willing to recognize their knowledge in both a traditional and a colonial view, and be able to work within that for success. I also indicate that the students that I've met, you know, like all of us, do make mistakes on occasion, but they're willing to get up, learn from it, and move forward with it, and be even more successful within that approach. We have to take our world of being Indigenous people, show the strengths that we have to everybody else in this world, and help our communities, our people to move forward. And I think all I can do as an old person is to be in the background and to, where it's needed, help to give a gentle push, but at the same time also be on the sidelines clapping and raising our hands in encouragement for what they are doing today, for them to recognize that there are a whole lot of us on the sidelines that are there to help them create the successes that they are doing, and to be there, especially for those young people who are moving into the world of research, to be able to encourage our communities to be open and supportive to those initiatives that they are trying so hard to bring out to the rest of the world. You know, I commend our future, and I look forward to recognizing their successes.